It's a tradition that happens before every single Auburn football season, at least in recent history. That's Auburn football's Fan Day. This year, though, we're going to be doing things a little bit different. So let's talk about the new details and what you can expect if you're going to be attending this event. My name is Kyle. I'm the owner and editor of the E2C network, where the Auburn family speaks. Our content here and on our podcast network may tend to be Auburn sports heavy, but if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing so that you never miss any content. Thank you to the members of the Booster Club like Kevin Nelson, who help produce videos like this. You'll remember from recent history, especially under the Coach Malzahn era, that something that the Auburn Tigers typically did before every single football season was have something called the Auburn Fan Day. This was an event where you could come to campus and come see the practice facilities, actually walk out on the field where the players are actually going through their reps and getting ready for the actual season, have some autograph sessions with the coaches, the football players, usually the soccer team, the volleyball team, cheerleaders, Tiger Paws, and anybody and everybody else who can show up. And I got to be honest with you, it's one of my favorite events that Auburn puts on every single year. Well, that is happening again this year, however, a little bit differently. And there are a couple of different reasons for this. The first one is this is a new regime change. We've got Coach Harsin as our head coach, and his program is going to be probably a lot different. So it makes sense that he would want to put his own stamp on this type of event. There's something to be said about using something that's old but making it feel new, and I think that's what he's doing here. The bones of this structure are exactly the same thing, creating a family-friendly environment where the Auburn family can come together and be together and just kind of take in a little bit of what Auburn football is going to be like this season before you actually get started. The second reason it's going to be different is because of, obviously, the pandemic that we're in the middle of. So there are some restrictions on some things that you can and can't do, which I think are probably going to be a little bit frustrated for some Auburn fans. However, I think they've done a great job of giving you something to plus your experience and encourage you to come to this event, even if it's something that's going to be lacking that you were expecting. Well, let's not even beat around the bush. The big thing that's going to be lacking this year that you're expecting is an autograph session. It's not happening. Let me say it again. No autograph sessions are going to be allowed due to social distancing and all that thing that's going on right now that we're trying to help prevent the spread of the virus. So that will not be a part of this event. And I know a lot of you are very frustrated by that. And honestly, I get it. I really do. But honestly, though, if that's the only reason that you're coming, you might want to rethink that, because there is some value to coming to these Fan Days events outside of just getting autographs. For one, what they're doing this year is actually going to have an open practice. Traditionally, all it was a glorified autograph session where you just got in a bunch of lines and got their autographs, moved down a line, and that was about it. There were a few games and things out there, some vendors giving away some things, which is great. But this year, you're actually going to be able to go to an open practice. Coach Malzahn, during his time here, was obviously very secretive and didn't do this a lot, even for the fans, much less the media. This is now the second time that Coach Harsin has allowed you, the fans, into the inner workings of what's going on in practice. Now, don't expect to see all their playbook when you come there, but you can actually come to the stadium and watch them practice and go through some of their reps that they usually go through on a normal basis in fall practice. Now, the specifics of this event is that it will start at 12 p.m. Central Time and move on into a 1 o'clock opening of the gates and then a 2 p.m. practice start time in the stadium. Now, what's going to be happening, as opposed to being at the practice fields, this event, the family-friendly environment, is going to be outside the stadium along Heisman Drive in the big green space where you normally see all the tailgating, which makes a lot of sense. It's a big, wide-open space. Let's spread everybody out and have a good time. There's going to be inflatables, little other vendors and things out there like you traditionally would see. It's going to be a great place to gather and do some of that stuff before you actually go into the stadium, get your seat, and get ready to see some practice and some reps and see what maybe the Tigers are going to look like this season. There are no details on how long the practice will last or what it might be doing during the middle of it. I would bet they'll try to plus the event to encourage people to come, and there are only going to be a few sections available. So there is limited seating, but this is probably not going to be an event where you're going to be smashed together. There's going to be probably a lot of spreading out, a lot of open seats, and something that you're going to feel like you're getting a more intimate experience because, let's face it, you're not going to be smashed in there with 1,000 other people like you would during a game. And something that I would stress for you Auburn fans out there that are contemplating whether you're coming to a game this season or not. Maybe that's a financial reason. Maybe the ticket prices, because they're going to be such high demand this year after a year where everything was weird and everybody's itching to get back. This might be your one and only opportunity to kind of get a little bit of that inside exposure and feel a little bit like you're still getting some of that. But also, if you're uncomfortable with what's going on and the distancing and all that kind of stuff that's been happening throughout this year with the virus spreading, you might actually want to consider coming to this event as well, because as I said, things are going to be spread out. They're probably going to be some other precautions in place. So I would bet that if you're somebody who's uncomfortable coming to one of the big games where there's going to be everybody there smashed together, this might be your event as well. Regardless of what you're thinking about, I hope you do come, because I really encourage Auburn fans to include themselves in the whole of the Auburn experience, not just the football games, not just another sporting event, but the whole of the experience. And I think this is a great opportunity to do so, and I plan to be there myself. But what do you think? Do you think you will be attending the first Auburn Family Football preseason kickoff? Ooh, it's quite a name. I do prefer Auburn Fan Day myself because it's much simpler, but I understand the need to kind of differentiate this thing from what's been the expectations in the past. But let me know if you think you're coming. I'd love to see you there myself. If you enjoyed this type of content, please help support it by smashing that like button. If you want more content from us, be sure to hit the subscribe and notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live stream. And there are other ways that you can help support us listed in the description of this video, such as the E2C Network Booster Club. Thank you for tuning into the E2C Network, where the Auburn family speaks. War Eagle.